Hi, Roots friends. I hope you guys are staying well and navigating all of the craziness that 2020 has brought. I think I know some of you, but just in case I don't know a few of you, my name is Lisa D'Souza, and I am the director for Career and Leadership Programs at UF's Heavener School of Business. So I get to work with some awesome college student leaders, helping them develop their leadership skills and prepare to achieve their dream jobs and then be successful in those. So that's a little bit about kind of where I'm coming from as I share my advice. I also wanted to share that I used to have a past life in corporate America. I know many of you are making that transition, so just wanted to throw that out there. If I can ever be helpful in supporting you outside of this video, please let me know. So Paige asked me to talk about reflection, and I think this is such an important topic. Now, that doesn't mean I'm an expert at it. I'm really far from that. I think it's something that is really hard to continue to prioritize when you have a really long to-do list and many things to get done. But for me, the ways I've been successful in reflection is really just finding the opportunities to build it into systems that exist in my life, because then I can better hold myself accountable. So, for example, at work, at UF, we do quarterly self-appraisal. So I am forced to sit down and really think about what I've been doing, what impact I've made, where I've been successful, what I've learned. And outside of that, I try to talk in my one-on-ones with my supervisor weekly about some of these topics, not just jumping into, what are the things we have to do, but taking that time to reflect and to grow. And same thing in my personal life, find those friends. Not all your friends want to have deep conversations about learning and growth, but the ones that do, really engage them in those conversations. And, even something as simple as me and Paige do this, when we text each other and we ask how things are going, we're not giving each other the fake, oh, things are great, answers. We're going in depth. We're talking about things that are happening in our life. And, that's really helpful. All of those, even small components of you looking back on your life, is you processing and reflecting and being able to kind of take some learnings from that. So that's kind of how I reflect. Is I don't have a formal system. It's just building it into the relationships that I have and the things that I do to keep me constantly doing it. Paige also asked me to talk about what I have learned in 2020. And I guess I would say that adaptability, just a whole lot of adaptability and flexibility. COVID-19 has really challenged all of us to think about how we do things, to rethink about how we do things. And I think all of us have had to adapt in many ways. And for me, I've learned that one, anything is possible. It was really hard for me to imagine in March being told that I needed to take my very hands-on, in-person FLA program and turn it into Zoom. It was really hard to imagine, but I think the thing that really helps me get through this, and I hope that this will connect with you as well, is I really looked and dove back into my values. Even though this was an enormous task and an overwhelming task, my values are I care tremendously about my students and they deserve a high quality, meaningful experience. And so whatever happens in the world, I'm committed to doing that. And so holding on to my values and staying committed to those in some of these very difficult times were really helpful for me to be successful. And as I reflect back on the last half of 2020 that has happened so far, it's being adaptable, but also using your values to navigate the adaptability that you need to have. So I guess that's kind of all that I have to share for now, but I just wanted to say reflection is so important. If you've ever done community service, there's a philosophy that if you go and do the service but you never reflect, you've basically got nothing personally out of that experience. Like, sure, you gave back to the community, and ultimately that's what community service is for, but you've missed out on all of the takeaways, the lessons, the things you could have learned about yourself and about others if you don't stop and reflect. And I think that holds true not just in community service, but in every aspect of our life. I know many of you have been really busy student leaders, so you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's so easy to go through life checking to-do box after to-do box of all the urgent things that we need to do, but reflection is where it's at. Reflection is where the magic is at. It's where you grow, and it's hard. It's really hard to prioritize regularly, but find ways that you can do so in your life. Find people that will help you do it, and that will enjoy doing it with you, and it will be so much easier to do. And that's how you learn, that's how you grow. I'm sure you know that I'm preaching to the choir, but those are just some of my suggestions on how to do it. Again, I'm not an expert, we're all learning and growing here, but I hope that some of what I shared might be helpful for you in your own journey as you transition to the working world and continue to reflect on the growth you're going to have there. So that's about it for me. I just also wanted to offer myself as a resource in that, transition from backpack to briefcase. If you ever want to connect one-on-one via Zoom while we're in a pandemic, I'm so happy to meet with you and continue conversations like this. Keep up the great work that you're doing. I love hearing students coming together and building community and supporting one another, and if I can support you guys in doing that, please let me know. Stay safe and take care, Roots.
Hi everyone, so today's topic is the importance of reflection and what it can do for us in our lives. So to me personally, I like to reflect on the past, things that I've done, things that I haven't done, decisions that I've made, just to really better understand myself and learn from what I've done in the past. So that's not necessarily to say that I regret things, but it is important, I think, to look back on why we've done things the way that we have and how much we have grown since then, because I think that the truest way to grow is really to learn from reflecting on the past and who we were and things like that. So some things that I've learned in 2020, 2020 has been the craziest year, but I would say that I've definitely learned a whole lot of patience, because things can change at the drop of a hat. My entire job has changed since I started in January. I'm an event manager, and all of my events have now become virtual, so I've been very patient in the process of changing everything to be virtual, and just trying to learn with everyone else and do the best that we can. Another thing I think I've learned in 2020 is not to take the people I'm surrounded by for granted. As crazy as everything has been for the past couple of months, you'll always have the people who love you, and if you are blessed enough to have a support system, hold those people close and really appreciate them, because they are, at the end of the day, what's going to be left. I mean, it's easy to get caught up in this fast, crazy life when we're going to work every day and so busy, if it's school or work or hanging out with friends, whatever it is, but now obviously so much of that has changed. But just knowing that at the end of the day, my family is what matters, that's definitely something that I've learned in 2020. So hope that's helpful to you all. Have a great day.
Hey everyone, my name's Cam Outlaw. I work at P4H Global and I'm their Impact Trip Director. Paige reached out to me and just asked if I could share a little bit about reflection. And honestly, it's kind of humbling because I'm not that good at it. I really wish I had a better experience or robust history to share with you of like, yes, this is my life of reflection and how it has meant wonderful things to me. But a couple of thoughts I do want to share is that the examined life is the life worth living. And that's some old philosopher that had shared that, and it's just, if you're not paying attention to what's going on around you, then you're going to miss what God is doing. And so that's one of the things I think of with reflection is you get to see God active or having been active in your life, whether it's through triumph or through trial, that he is still there and he's working for your good in his own glory. And I think that's really important because it paints a picture of hope. like I have not been forgotten. I look back and my hope is restored for the future. And the other piece of reflection is it kind of feels like when you had to plot points on a graph in algebra class, and you're like, okay, this one goes here, and then the next one, and the next one, and then you can kind of use that as a predictor of trajectory. Because God has been faithful to you at these various points, you know He will continue to be faithful to you as you move forward. And I think that's super important to keep in mind, especially when the world is much weirder than we thought it was. So speaking of what I've learned in 2020, excuse me, getting emotional or just choking on a watermelon. What I've learned in the year 2020 is that togetherness is ultimately the goal. Whether it's virtual or in person, it's that relationships are really what make life worth living. And so that's been huge for me. I got married during the COVID season, and our wedding was a lot different than we thought it would be. But it helped us focus in on what's truly important, and it's togetherness with people that matter. And also for the year 2020, it has re-fortified my faith that this world is not my home, and I'm longing for a better kingdom to come, to be reunited with my King. So those are some thoughts. If you have any questions, feel free to ask Paige for my number. Many blessings on your evening tonight. Bye.
Hey everyone, my name's Troy. I am a third-year medical student here at University of Florida. I think, man, especially in sort of this crazy time that we're in, socially, racially, but also with the health inequity and disparity that we're seeing throughout the country, throughout the globe, I think it's offered a lot of people some time to really just be still and be quiet, and listen to, what their heart is telling them and what hopefully the Holy Spirit is trying to reveal to them in these times. I know for me personally, when I have opportunities to sit and stop and rest and think, and really just invite God and His Spirit to move inside of me, in my heart, I become so aware of the people around me, the experiences that those people have. And those are great times for me to just ask God, like, hey, give me courage and wisdom to speak life into these people. There are so many people that we encounter on a day-to-day basis who are hurting, who are striving, who are searching for something to fulfill them. And man, what an opportunity that we have as believers to say, look, I don't have it all figured out. I don't know all of the answers. I don't know why terrible things happen, why pandemics happen, why racial, social injustices are still happening. But man, I do know that there is a God in heaven who reigns supreme, who has a plan to bring hope and restoration to the entire globe, to His creation, but also, to us personally and individually. And I think, when we have opportunities to really just sit back and think about, how did my interactions go with the people that I saw today? Was I really showing them that there is a Creator in heaven who loves them? And I think even just little simple questions like that we can kind of sort of get our minds going and thinking about before the day starts, can really shift the way that we view the world and we view the people around us. So I hope that can encourage you, that maybe it can help you spark a new fire inside of you to share with people just love. And it doesn't even have to be, hey, my name's so-and-so and I really love Jesus and you need to come with church with me, or you need to stream church online with me with the craziness that's going on. It can just be, hey, how are you? And then being very intentional with the questions that we ask, and letting people know that, we are available and we are interruptible for them, that their trials and their struggles are not too much of a burden for us to handle. So I hope that something there can encourage you guys. man, I just pray that the Lord will bless you, that he will continue to show himself to you, that he give you grace and courage to speak out, and to just really love on the people around you. I think that's something that's huge that we need in the whole world and in our small communities at home too. So man, let the Lord bless you and keep you guys. And I pray all the best to you and your families in this time. And hopefully we'll see you around soon.
Hey guys, if I could give you any advice or any little bit of advice regarding reflection, it would really just be that reflection is something that I believe should be done every single day. And instead of taking time to beat yourself up or hold on to the guilt of maybe something that you weren't able to accomplish today, give yourself a pat on the back and just grace for yourself, that it will always reign true that you are not today where you were yesterday, and you will not be tomorrow where you were today. So just keep on trudging forward, pushing forward, putting one step in front of another, especially during these times with COVID and just not really knowing the security of what we once had a couple months ago. I can speak from personal experience just on the importance of reflection, because for me, 3 months ago, or a little bit more than 3 months ago, I was actually furloughed from my job doing executive management with Macy's, just due to the whole coronavirus situation. So obviously applying for unemployment 11 months after graduating is not the place that I expected myself to be in. But it was an obligatory thrown upon me 3 months of having to reflect and saying, okay, this is not what I expected, but this is the reality of what it is. So how can I determine and take baby steps every single day, reflecting on my physical health, my emotional health, my financial health, #savings, and the importance of savings. But how can I reflect on all of those things to determine the woman that I want to be at the end of this? And I think that was just a really, really crucial time that I didn't know that I needed until I came out of it. And it was literally one of the most refining and just amazing times that I think I'll hold on to probably for the rest of my life. So just remember that you are perfectly on pace, you are perfectly on time, and at the end of the day, what is for you is never going to pass you. So if you can just take time to reflect every day, even if that means, like for myself, which I'm doing it today, which is like my Sabbath or one day of rest out of the week, if you can just find time to do that, to, as hard as it may seem, to not answer phone calls, not answer emails, and just not do anything that is really taxing to you or considered work, and to just take this day to reflect, to be with yourself, to read a book, do something that is enjoyable and just refueling for you. It's just a really, really great way to be with yourself, to reflect on who you are, what is important to you, what gets you up in the morning, and how can you be the best version of yourself every single day, and just show up and show out in whatever way that you can, in whatever industry, whatever career, whatever year of school that you may be in. So keep pushing forward, keep putting one foot in front of the other and taking one step at a time. You're doing great, and everything is going to be fine.